Brought to you by Ayoko, Africa's leading integrated technology services company. It's time for Tech Talk. E-commerce giant Takealot is known for selling clothing, electronics, home appliances, furniture, toys, more recently groceries, and it has now entered the home loans market too. The group launched a MortgageMarket, a Naspers-backed loan hub, which makes the financing of home loans as seamless as the online shopping experience. Business Day's Mudiwa Gavaza joins us with more insight into the group's latest move. Mudiwa, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. I understand that it's a partnership with MortgageMarket, right?
Yeah.
How is that going to work, right? They already are a platform on their own. Does Takealot come in with some of its expertise? Are we building a totally different platform?
I would answer that question with two pieces of information. The first one is looking at the user base that Takealot has. Yes, MortgageMarket already has its own platform, but in terms of actually getting more and more people to use this platform, the advantage that Takealot has is that it's already the largest online retailer, in South Africa, the biggest e-commerce platform in the country, right? So you already have a lot of people visiting the website. So if part of that traffic can also be interested in getting financing for a home, right, then MortgageMarket gets to benefit, from the millions of people that already frequent that website, right? That's the one thing. Second piece is that if someone has gone onto the Easy Equities platform and sort of looked at what's called Easy, I believe it's called Easy Mortgages.
Yes.
It's a similar offering because Easy Mortgages is actually also underpinned by MortgageMarket as well. So MortgageMarket plugging themselves into these existing platforms that have the existing customer and user bases, and looking at it as a way to have these partnerships where you can drive traffic, to their platforms, and you almost create that win-win, type of situation.
And that was going to be my next question, to just discuss the merits and the synergies at play. And as I understand, it's more to try and churn Takealot's, I guess, the people that are visiting Takealot,
Yep.
to perhaps maybe look at applying for loans.
Yep.
I don't know, it just doesn't make sense for me, Mudiwa. I think of when I'm on Takealot,
Yeah.
I'm looking for toys, as mentioned. I'm
Yeah.
looking for clothes,
Yeah.
appliances,
Yeah.
home loans.
So I won't lie, it also took me, it was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is that we actually met with Tim Akinusi a couple of weeks ago. There's an upcoming episode of the Business Day Spotlight that features Tim, who's the founder of MortgageMarket, and he actually hinted at this particular partnership as well in that interview. But at the time, he didn't really give us a lot of details around how it was going to work. So actually seeing what it's like, I actually went on and created a profile of my own just to see, what's going on. And at first, it doesn't seem like an adjacency that makes sense. But if I take Takealot in South Africa, and then look at what Naspers is doing globally.
Okay.
You have a new fine, he's no longer new, but for Fabrizio Bloisi, who is the group CEO of Naspers, he's got this vision of creating these e-commerce ecosystems. And when you look at what they've been able to do with iFood in Brazil, iFood is essentially a food delivery platform, right? But iFood has gone into insurance, they've gone into loans, and you're like, what does any of this have to do with food delivery?
Yeah.
Right? But it's because they've realized that they have a lot of people, and you can actually on-sell a number of different products, to people. So in essence, you have Takealot taking that model bringing and in South Africa then creating almost a marketplace of marketplaces. So you've got the base Takealot marketplace. Then you've also got the marketplace where you have third-party sellers, that are selling their own goods and services. Now you're like, okay, let's also create another marketplace for, home loans, because it's an aggregation platform, right? They aren't the ones that are giving you the credit. You're just creating a place where people apply, and you can match those people with the standard banks, the ABSAs, the FNBs and whatnot that are part of this, offering. And you say, I want a loan, and then they allow you to match that up. So I'm very keen to see how Takealot is going to, what else?
Maneuver, yeah. What else they have their eye on. This also made me think of how other companies, we're seeing it with retailers, not necessarily the same kind of deals, but we're seeing it with retailers, we're seeing it with telcos companies, where they're using the user base that they currently have and trying to introduce different kind of products. I mean, with telcos, we see them in the fintech industry. It's also taking place in the retail sector, where it's been really interesting shifts, where you want to see what more you can get out of the users that are currently on your platforms, that shop at your stores or use your services.
Most certainly, because let's think about it this way. We are existing in a tough economy, right? And so many of the products and services that you're talking about, such as retail, are very dependent on economic growth, right? Because that directly speaks to the buying and purchasing power of the consumer. It talks to employment. It talks to all of these different things. So where things are constrained like this, if you are a company like Takealot, it's hard for you to grow what's called the top line or the revenue line, right? And now you decide, okay, let's take a bet on, if I want people to interact with Takealot as a platform, they don't necessarily need to be a Takealot online shopping customer. They can interact with Takealot, but through other avenues. So in this particular case, it's very possible that you might even have certain people just coming to Takealot to apply for, to engage with this home loan marketplace, not necessarily, shopping. Not necessarily shopping, but Takealot gets to make a little bit of money through, all of those different interactions. That's the way that I'm sort of reading into how their strategy seems to be working.
And does the recent rate cuts also just bode well for, I guess, that environment, and perhaps maybe looking at entering or exposing oneself to that home loan market? Perhaps we might see an uptick in more people applying for home loans as rates have come down.
It certainly does, but I think a part of the issue as well is also just speaking to simple convenience.
Okay.
Right? As much as you might have a better interest rate environment, and especially now where rates have been coming down, you expect that there's going to be more action, in that market. But how do you stand out, right? Because now interest rates are coming down, and we may start to see more people wanting to come into that market, applying for, financing. But if you are a financing house, or if you're a player, how do you, stand out? And I think that's what is most interesting about a platform like MortgageMarket, because when you look at someone like Tim, who's one of the co-founders, he's the former head of ABSA Home Loans. He's a former head of Nedbank Home Loans. So in our conversation, he said that he saw a lot of places where there was frustration in how consumers were applying for loans, right? So it's about, and there actually is an interesting line in their release from yesterday where they were like, we want to make, I'm paraphrasing here, want to make the process of applying for a loan as easy as online shopping. Yeah.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
It almost feels as if they are looking at how do you attack the convenience piece, right? Lots of people, interest rates are coming down, lots of people wanting to come into the market. How do you make sure that people come to your your platform to actually engage with the home market? So it's an interesting space to see.
Interesting, yes, but I worry about the trust factor of it all, because the things like home loans, I mean, even buying a car,
Yeah.
you sometimes don't want to interact with or rather apply online, but you'd still want to go into the bank, perhaps talk or renegotiate rates. How does that now work on the online platform?
So there's a couple of things. The first one is that, to my knowledge, what the service that they're actually providing is that first entry. Before you get to the bank, you must get offers from the different banks. You need to think about a platform like MortgageMarket as competing with the likes of Better Bond, SA Home Loans, and those types of players. I want to get a home loan. I just put in one application, and you can get offers from all the different banks. Once you have that relationship established, then you can start having that direct interaction, like what you're talking about, where I talk to someone and say, hey, make me understand this, make me understand that. And at least with the way that MortgageMarket is selling themselves, they are saying that actually we are going to be part of that, try to help you to have a better relationship with your bank, right? Because apparently a lot of the time, first-time home buyers and even seasoned home buyers tend not to necessarily know what they've signed, what the actual obligations are, what's required of them, the actual terms and conditions, the fine print of what they are signing. So that relationship with the banks becomes very important. But where these guys have decided that we're going to find value is connecting you, to the bank before. Because one of the more interesting insights is that where you try to go directly to a bank sometimes, right, you might struggle having that initial interaction because, yes, they're your bank, but sometimes getting the most favorable rates might be tough.
Okay.
But getting a third party, one of these third party originators to actually go and fight on your behalf is sometimes a better way, to find that. I had that experience myself. I fought with my bank personally when I was trying to get, financing, for a home loan.
Yeah.
But one of these aggregators actually was able to get me through the door with my own bank. Much faster than what I had been. So there's a lot of complexity that's in there. I would love to have just gone straight
to the bank,
the bank and had that, and I did, but you run into so many roadblocks, and unfortunately, that actually creates a lot of opportunity for some of these guys, your MortgageMarkets, your better bonds, your SA home loans, and now Takealot gets to benefit from all of that by saying, hey, we've got millions of people coming to our site, why don't you come and apply for a loan?
Really interesting moves from Takealot, and I really want to see what that business is going to look like in a few years. Mudiwa, let's leave it there. Thanks so much for your time and sharing your insights with us this afternoon. Now that was Mudiwa Gavaza from Business Day. Brought to you by Ayoko, Africa's leading integrated technology services company.